Before I start, I want to add that at the time at this edit, ZooPix is closing. However, when I made the script, it was based on the fact that ZooPix is still open. So I'm not going to edit the script, but this is explaining why I'm treating ZooPix as if it's not shutting down. Now, into the video. Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start off by stating that this is in no way a drama call-out or a rally to boycott. This is my honest and truthful experience with the app ZooPix, now known as the Zoo. This video will be split to sections explaining what the app is, my history with the app, and why I'm making this video, ending off with two fellow users of the app explaining their experience. What is ZooPix? For a brief overview to the people who have never had the app, it is essentially Instagram for pets. You can post pictures and videos of your dog, cat, gerbil, or even horse. You can create different profiles for your different pets, listing their species, birthday, likes and dislikes, etc. They also have these events every week called pet shows. Remember, this is a key detail. You can even make shops to buy and sell items or even adopt a pet. They also have this leveling system where you start off as a zoobie until you make your way up to superstar with treats. Treats were introduced, which were digital currency along with boops, where you could send other people little stickers under their post while gaining the treats they spent. Boosts would pretty much project your post for a few hours for 500 treats. When I first joined the app, it was called ZooPix, while it was under Will Riley. I have to make sure I'm saying that right. When it was a very welcoming and respectful community. Chewy had required the app in April of 2023, which made the community slightly worried about the changes that would come in the future, myself included. One of the first changes that was made were we were able to post up to 5 pictures instead of just one, and the introduction of individual communities called packs. However, new management also came with a change in regulations. My goodness, this is a block of text. Alright, lock in. My experience with ZooPix. For this section and the rest of the video, I will be calling the app ZooPix instead of the Zoo, like how people call X Twitter. In this section, I will give you a whole timeline from when I joined up to what happened. I was first introduced to the app in 2020 by Emzotic on YouTube, link to her video, Nefer the Majestic on ZooPix. I then decided to download the app on October 19th, 2022. Actually, I decided to join the app in October 19th, 2020. My first post was a TikTok screenshot with Australian Shepherds, because they were my dream dog at the time, captioning, "Dogs I wish I had." From then I posted images of my grandmother's dog, Cinnamon, which was also the start of my Pixar era, where I would edit effects over Cinnamon and make my own scenarios with the photos on my app. I then started posting my artwork consisted of my characters, Cinnamon and my beloved Sona, who had been created before I downloaded the app. This gained the attention of someone who asked me to draw their dogs, which I was more than happy to do, which led me to my famous Draw Your Pet Day. It was more of a daily thing than a day dedicated to drawing, to be honest. From this point, I drew people's dogs and cats while providing shoutouts until I hit 50 subscribers. I then tried out some questions of the day, which I only did 4 times, posted fish content, and tried out more pet shows. Now at the time, I didn't see any rules for the pet shows, so I drew a Thanksgiving-themed piece and submitted it and continued thinking nothing was wrong. Continued edits, photography, game screenshots, shoutouts, and art submissions till May 12, 2021. Nothing major, just a reminder about the content that should be posted, and after some reassurance from others, I moved along. I then started experimenting with drawing pets first and editing backgrounds behind them. One of the things I am also known for. I then started receiving fan art, which I still have to this day, and finishing the front page of my Draw Your Pets Day, followed by more Pixar drawing edits. I continued reaching milestones, gaining 500 followers, and bought a custom ZooPix bandana. I still have it, go check out their Etsy. I was cruising until August 6, 2021. I was posting a mix of art and Cinnamon for the pet shows and over the course of the past few months. Like usual, I posted this artwork for the pet show. While complimenting someone else's entry, I mentioned my own, not begging. I only did that once as a test. So when they told me that they didn't see my entry, I was confused until I saw my profile and realized my pet show entry was deleted. At the time, this is the first time my post has been deleted ever, so I was kind of perplexed on what I did wrong, especially since you can't post another entry for that week's pet show. Soon after, the ZooPix account DM'd me saying that artwork wasn't allowed in pet shows, which I understood and didn't enter one for a long while. I continued my art, edits, and shoutouts while starting to interact with other artists such as Owner and Vi, as I began to participate in art contests hosted by other users, until I hit 1,000 followers. Essentially, things were back to normal. I started improving on my art, finally re-entering a pet show featuring Cinnamon and a sweater, and started trying digital art on December 26, 2021. One could consider this the start of my downfall, but still, that was fairly drama-free aside from a few instances. Haters test, Kirby leaving from Hay, and the ban of someone who could give 100 followers in seconds. For the most part, a very calm experience. I did some more photography with my Warrior Cats custom. You can watch a video about the pink bunny girl amino situation, since that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into. One last thing about Cinnamon is that I did a little paint trend with her on May 22nd, 2022, which I still proudly own. But 2 days later, she was put down on the 24th. I really lost motivation to post at this point, so I took a break, where I was able to mourn properly and at my own pace before returning to update and continue my journey. Before her death, we had got new fish. 3 died in total, so we were left with 6 planet Oscars and Colas the catfish, which was what I posted for the time being. Look at how much they've grown! Also, the albino died. Unfortunate. 2 weeks later, I started posting more animations and more art of my OCs. Tried out selling adopt ones and continued commissions as I stopped doing the Pixar edits after her passing, and my shift to digital art. April 9th, 2023 was one of the biggest changes in the app's history when Chewy acquired ZooPix. Like stated, they made packs and the ability to post more than one image, but this is also when I started to notice that I started deleting my art a lot more, as I was only posting art and animations, never getting a DM or comment explaining why. However, over the course of my time on the app, I had been trying to get what is called a pet show trophy. Coincidentally, my last pet show entry was what got me the trophy I wanted so bad. But things changed on September 10th, 2023. Like I said a while back, when I posted artwork for a pet show, the ZooPix account DM'd me about what I was doing wrong, and I corrected myself, which was before Chewy acquired ZooPix. Then the constant deletion of my posts became normal to me, so I was surprised when I simply couldn't log into my account. Starting from the beginning, a user called Bear had made an art contest. Yes, an art contest. The rules were that you'd have to take a screenshot and post it on your profile and tag other people you think would be interested to enter. This was common for art contests, as it was a way to spread the news. I did that, drew the entry, submitted it, but days later it got deleted. This deletion really set me back because the caption clearly stated the image was for an art contest. Then again, days later, I could no longer access my account. I DM'd the only person I knew on the app in Discord to see if they could see my profile, thinking my whole account got deleted. They had lost access to their Discord during this time, unfortunately. So I emailed the zoo staff, as mentioned, and here was their response. Frankly, I couldn't be mad, but I was disappointed. I wish I had at least got warning like I did the first time instead of just getting a straight kick out of my account. But at the same time, I'm glad they did it so I could focus on my animated series and bigger projects. Also, Pup, please fulfill your end of the art trade. It gave you a whole animation. Why am I making this video? A user from ZooPix contacted me under my Starter Squad Theory video. They suggested that I make a video about my ZooPix experience. So, here I am. Shout out to them. Now that I've info dumped on you about my experience, I'd like to share with you all Tarty and Violet's experience with ZooPix. They will be answering these 3 questions. What were your first impressions when you joined, and how did you learn about the app? What were your first impressions of me on the app? And what is your overall opinion on the current state of the app? Again, when I mean current state, I made this before ZooPix was closing. Tarty's response. I learned about the app from my sister when I started a year after her, but she found out just simply looking up animal photography apps on the App Store. My first impression of you was, honestly, Like I admired your art at the time because of the style I liked then. And then when I got to know you more, I thought you were really nice and stuff. It's honestly went through a downfall. Good people left and now other people are just really rude. I don't think it was a change of the owner though, just the members of the community. Additional info would honestly just be that it's really changed since my first year. I had left for a while but got it back. And then like a year later, when I got your YouTube account and stuff. Vi's response. I learned about the app through LennonTheBunny's content via YouTube back when the app was fairly new. Late 2019, early 2020. I believe she had been sponsored by them, and I, as someone who always loved sharing my pets online, was immediately interested. Honestly, I was just happy to see another artist. I thought you were just a cool guy with a cute style. I think overall since Chewy bought them, there's been a lot of overall positive switch, although them removing pet shows still has me a bit sad. I haven't been nearly as active as I was back in 2021 to 2023, but I feel like the user base has been slightly more mature as a whole, and competition between users, as well as overall drama, has been less prevalent. I say for the most part it's shifted off the app and is less directly related to the zoo, and that's just what I've seen. The way the moderation team has chosen to interact with the community is starkly different, and I've noticed they're a lot more buddy-buddy with some slight bias in some instances. I want to preference that Tarty, my previous interviewee, is speaking for Prissy. Okay. In 2020, she was looking for apps for her dog Prissy and came across ZooPix. It was exactly what she wanted, Instagram for dogs. She didn't come across you until me, but when she did, she thought your art was pretty cool. She loves it. Just wishes they would have brought the original pet shows back. Overall, ZooPix is not a terrible app. Far from it. If you do decide to install the app, I hope my experience teaches you what is and what isn't acceptable, because I don't know if they offer second chances. Hope you enjoyed this video. If I made any mistakes, feel free to correct me so I can set the record straight. Now I'm going to add this at the end. I haven't scripted this part, so yes. As of now, where's that tricky email? Let's see. Yep, as of now, ZooPix will be closing at the end of January, as of the recording of this 2026. But, let's see. They sent an email. But they have some little, ending party. So they give off exclusive Zoo swag giveaways, an all-out day Zoo closing party on the 29th. And, yeah. So I'm making this on the 27th. Late, I know. So you have a few more days if you want to download the app. So, yeah. Salutations, sayonara. Feel free to correct me, like I said, and I'll provide links and shout-outs to people that participated. I will provide the proper links to both Vi and Tarty. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!